Hello there sexy PlayStation gamers, and welcome back to another pure PlayStation video review, and this time we've got Superliminal on PS4. Superliminal is an interesting and original puzzle game that uses the environment and the idea of perception to create some genuinely clever puzzles. The premise is one that we've seen plenty of times before by this point. You play as a nameless research subject, taking part in an experiment looking at dream research. As a narrative framing device, it's a tried and tested way of piecing together what you're doing and giving it a reason for existing. And the whole idea of a science experiment gone wrong, yeah, it's a genre all on its own by now. But for the simple reason that when they're done well, they work. Superliminal is an example of one done well. And although it doesn't reach those lofty heights of some of its predecessors in the genre, it's still a fun and original entry all the same. The game starts as you would imagine, with things going belly up very bloody quickly. By placing the game inside a dream, developers Pillow Castle have come up with a very handy way of explaining the surreal environments you find yourself in, and the puzzles, which are all original and challenging. And as you delve deeper, exploring what is essentially your character's dream, things do take a turn, and the game does have fun messing with your head and using various archetypes about dreaming to do so. Using perspective and some clever physics, you have to use a simple but ingenious idea of finding and enlarging objects to escape the many rooms that you're in. By picking up the objects and then positioning them in your field of view so that they either look larger or smaller, you can drop the object for it to take on these new properties, and you can then use that object to access areas that were once out of reach. It's a simple idea, but it works beautifully. There is a decent learning curve, and the game introduces the puzzles in such a way that, although they're challenging, they're never overly challenging. And the game itself, it's an interesting enough game to look at, so when you are stuck and wandering around wondering what to do, at least it looks decent. Although, having said that, there are a few rooms that did test my patience, and one in particular had me scratching my head for a good 15 minutes, but when I finally cracked it, the sense of accomplishment was up there with, well, unlocking all those characters in Star Wars. Thanks, EA. There was no way I was not going to do that. The game itself doesn't hold your hand and hit you over the head with solutions. Puzzles are built up cleverly without being overly repetitive or tiresome, and you are given the time you need to figure out what to do, without hints flashing up or a condescending voice mocking you as you sit there and wonder what next. Where Superliminal falls is in its replay value. The joy of these games is solving the puzzles, and once you've solved the puzzles, if you go back and do it again, it's not the same, is it? Come on, you already know it's cheating basically, and it's not the same experience. But if you do want more time with the game, there are trophies for completing it at speed, and a few collectibles in the form of chess pieces and hidden blueprints that you can go and hunt for if you want. Superliminal is a puzzler that messes with your perception of the world to create some interesting and original puzzles, packaged up in a narrative that we've seen plenty of times before. If you're after a decent puzzler that's light on story, Superliminal is up there with some of the best. That being said, just because the story might leave you wanting more, what Superliminal does have to say is interesting, and upon completion, I really did feel that sense of accomplishment and self-validation that the game actively endorsed. And after all, isn't that what playing games is all about? No, it's about shooting things. And that brings us to the end of this review. I hope you enjoyed it, I hope you found it to be of some use to you. Maybe you're on the edge, should I buy this or should I pay rent? Buy this, you can always pay rent next month. Duh, that's why it's monthly. Don't take that advice, there's a reason I don't work in finance. Until next time, stay sexy, keep washing your bloody hands and keep playing games. Bye!